Hello everyone, this is Anton, and in today's video I want to talk about YieldNodes. So this is an actual platform that I got into earlier this year, I think around the 2nd of January. I was doing some research last year on it before the holidays came around and really saw that this was something that I wanted to invest in, so I decided to put some money into it this new year. So YieldNodes is basically defined here as a complex multi-tiered node rental program. Basically, you're giving them funds, some money, in the form of Bitcoin or USDT. I think they also support a couple other ways to get funds in here. I'll show those in a minute. But you put your money in there. They rent a master node, and they take that master node and then they're buying coins and doing other things on there, and they're yielding actual returns on the things that master node is doing. You do not get access to this particular node. Everything happens in the background. Really the only thing you need to do is supply the funding and then choose whether you want to compound the returns that you get every month or not. So the initial funds that you do put in are held for 6 months, and so that's something to consider if you're going to put money in there. They do have like an emergency where you can pull out the funds from your account, I think earlier than the 6 months, but there's probably a penalty. You'll need to look that up. So on their website they do show some of the information around the performance that they've previously gotten in the past. This is something that's been around since 2018. They did basically go public. Let me see. The YieldNodes entered an extensive beta phase with a group of handpicked early adopters at the end of 2019 in October. But it's actually been public for a little while now, and the yields that they've been returning on this platform have been pretty nice. So again, I've decided to get into it. Let's go ahead and maybe let's scroll down here. We can see the actual team that's really moving this thing forward. We have these people here. You can look them up on LinkedIn, and I've seen that a few of them also have videos on YouTube that you can go ahead and research. On their website there are some testimonials that are out here, and they have been audited, but their audits have been done by actual clients. So that's something I can show you within the portal where you can see that information too. They do list out, what their YieldNodes platform and all the stuff that they're doing on the back end. They show some of the cryptocurrencies that they're investing in, and they apparently have an exchange as well and a few other things that they're doing. If you scroll down to their FAQ, I think this is something that you should probably go through in full detail and look at all the different questions that they have in their FAQ. I think this will answer probably most of the questions you'll have or need to know about this particular platform before you put your money into it. So this is not financial information. I'm just gonna go ahead into my account and show you what I've done, and yeah, just basically give you feedback on my experience with this particular platform. So let's go ahead into the portal here, and this is my account. You can see that we have a master node, and I have some funds that's in that master node. I also have some withdrawable funds here, and then it shows you your total ROI. So I've only been in it for a little over a month, so I've received one payment back to me based on what I put in, and we'll see what the actual total of that is. The previous month was 8% total that they had in returns, but you'll see that I did not receive the full 8% because I was partially invested in that month. If we look here on this dashboard, you can also see that I have some funds that are pending. So recently I deposited some more funds into this account, and by default they hold the money that you put in for 7 days. So this grace period is something that's mandatory. You will find that when you deposit money into this account, that it will be held for 7 days before it's put into the masternode, and then you have actually interest being applied to the funds that you put in there. If we scroll down a little bit here on this portal, we can see a weekly estimate of profits. I think this is a pretty nice view. They show you for each week in the month what the percentage is, and then at the end of the month they calculate the total. Here this shows the last 3 months of profits. I've only been there 1 month, so we can see this 1 month of profits. Oh, and one other thing, if you haven't noticed, is that the funds that they're showing here are in euros, so it's not in US, but they do show you, what that amount would be in Bitcoin and in Ethereum. And this must be at the time that it was received, because as Bitcoin increases and Ethereum increases or decreases in value, this number does not change. So take that as it is. Now you can get a more detailed report. We'll go into that screen here. Shows the same information at the top, pretty much there. They break it down a little bit here. As I mentioned, the fund 2020 return, at least for last month, was 8%. So that shows up here. It shows your total deposit. We can see what the total deposit is right here. And then you can see what the average noted balance is. At the bottom, once you accumulate, more months of profits, this here will start to give you a trend over time. And right now, as I mentioned, I've only been in it 1 month. And for that first month, we can see here that it was 4.9% that was returned. And they give you a little indicator here because I was only partially funded within that month. If we go down to the bottom here, we can download the PDF for the reports for each month. So let's go into the deposits area. We can see what's in here. We go into the deposit, we scroll down. This top view is pretty much all the same in most of the different views or areas. So in the deposit area here, we can either deposit the Bitcoin, as I mentioned, or the USDT. You can generate yourself an address, put in the amount that you're going to actually transfer over, and then basically just use whatever transfer mechanism you're going to use on your end. Now, when I did this, I used Bitcoin, of course, and every time you do a deposit, the generated address does change. So you need to remember that. You cannot use the same address every time that you want to deposit funds in here. I think that makes it more secure, but it could complicate your situation if you're using, say, a platform that requires you to add a whitelisted address, and then they only give you certain days after you add it to be able to deposit in. But when you do generate this particular number here, the address here, I'll go ahead and click it here. They generate the address. They do give you the ability to extend the time that address is available. And then at the bottom here, we can see that there are some supported third-party services to get your Bitcoin or funds in a different way to be able to deposit them here. And then at the bottom here, they show you the deposit history. Now if I scroll up to the top, I did in here get this withdrawable amount. So this was what was returned to me for the first month that I was into it. I can withdraw that with no problem. As I mentioned, the initial funds that you put in are held for 6 months, but you can withdraw the money that you get on the returns or the profit for each month. You can also compound this actual profit that you get back into the masternode. I did not have that setting set that is seen in the withdrawal area. So if we go into the withdrawal, we can see here where we can set up the automatic compounding. I did change that after the first month. So all previous profits should automatically go back into the masternode. Now, if you're going to do a withdrawal, you can set up the address you want to withdraw to. Come in here and add in one of your wallets and give it a name. And then when you need to do a withdrawal, you can do a withdrawal. Now at the bottom here, they do have this one note that if you're going to do a withdrawal, it will take a month in order to get that withdrawal available to you, and you will have to do it within or between the 1st and the 15th of the month is the best time to do it. They're showing here so that you can receive it the following month. And then here at the bottom it does show withdrawal history. Now this does say the status is approved and what the initial amount is. I have not actually executed a withdrawal, so there is no final amount withdrawn here. What I will do is actually go back to my deposits here and take this amount, and what I want to do is put this back into the masternode. So I'm going to go ahead and deposit from profits. This will be my first time I'm actually doing this, so we'll both see how this actually works and hit submit. So I do need to put in my two-factor code in here. And it says reinvest pending here, notification here at the bottom. So that should, as you see here, go back into the actual masternode eventually once that process is done. Now they do have other areas within the portal where you can change information on your account. You can change some of the settings for notifications, change your password. You can set up the two-factor authentication to be either an app like Authy or the Google Authenticator, or just use SMS. I would recommend using the Authenticator app over the SMS, because there have been situations where people have had their phone number taken, and then if they have the access to your account, they can also get that SMS message to be able to withdraw funds from your account. Now initially when you set up this YieldNodes account, before they will actually start giving you anything, you need to do the KYC, which is know your customer. So you will have to provide proof of identification and address and have that verified before you really can start getting anything from the platform. So this will be the first area you need to come to. Get this all verified before you deposit any funds into this. They have this performance calculator here. It's really kind of to just show off what you could have happened if you deposited a certain amount of money. Went back here and let me see, in 2019. But remember, past performance doesn't predict future performance. So you may not see a curve just like this here after you start using the platform and you start getting profits. So that will vary. There is no guarantee on what you're going to get each month. As I mentioned, there were some audits that were done by the clients, and they do give you access to that information. You can see there's a video in here. There's question and answers that they put in here, and they also put the names of the people who did the audits. All the emails that are sent out are here in this archive. So when they send out like news and profit payout type emails, those are all stored in here. So you can come in here, you can see what those are, and actually skip your email box. So I think this is nice because it gives you a direct access to their communications to this information. And then you can go ahead and you can also contact them, but They do encourage you to go through this FAQ, basically all these questions that they've answered, and I recommend you go through them as well, even before you put money into this platform. Okay, so that was basically my feedback on the platform. I'm going to continue depositing money in here, basically dollar cost average into this particular platform and get returns on it, and also auto compound back into the masternode so that this money grows faster. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Don't forget, do your own research. None of this is financial information. I'm not trying to encourage you to use this platform, but if you are, make sure you do your due diligence and make that decision based on the information you've gathered. If you found value in the information I provided in this video, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. And until the next time, have a nice day.